All right, Bug-Eye Bob back here at you one more time. Going to cover a couple of things. Won't be a real long video, but cover some kind of important things. I mentioned that I had to order a couple of pieces from England because they're unobtainium in the US. So those pieces were the rear valance and the piece that holds the rubber gasket that the hood closes down on. So let's talk about those and see what we had to do to work with those. Okay, so what did I have to do with this? Well, first off, I found that the die that they use is old and worn, and when they get old and worn, they don't cut as good a panel as the brand new die did. So over here, right around in here, I had to hammer this back in quite a bit. It's still not as good as it should be, but I really don't dare take it any further because this metal right in here is getting pretty thin. Let's see if I can give you just a little bit better look at that. Right around in here. And then down along in here also, this wasn't as pronounced of a recess on this part as it is over on this part. So I went and beat the hell out of it, held a dolly up behind it on the inside, hammered it on the outside to push that back and get it into shape. So I think right now, I think this is pretty well where it needs to be, with the exception that probably in the center needs to go in more. I'll also need to cut it down. This should be 3 inches from here to the bottom down here of it. I'm going to get the quarter panels repaired first before I make any decisions to cut in here. Even though one of the cars that I measured that off of may not have had the exact right distance, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that distance to what I think it should be once I get these pieces repaired. Still working on this piece, and I will show you the mess that I have on that. So I've got a piece here, I put in a piece here, put in a piece here. And now I'm working on this final piece to fit down in here. And that's going to take some filing and filing and filing and filing to get it to fit right. And then once I get that all shaped and fit into place right, then I'll grind down the outside and double check and make sure that everything fits right before I try putting it on the car, because this goes on the car something like this. So that explains where we're at on that. Again, this piece here, I could buy that repair piece. It's $300 and some. Honestly, right now, that's $300 and some I don't have. I've got to do the other side also. So that's, by the time I get it shipped over from England, I'm probably looking at $700-800 to get those pieces. I might be able to get them in the US, but they're going to already include the additional markup for the shipping and all that other stuff. So it's probably $700 or $800 there also. Now let's talk about, what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about that front. All right. This is the channel that rubber piece sits into when the bonnet closes down this way or whether it closes down that way. This is designed to keep rain and crud and all that sort of stuff, leaves, everything from getting inside your engine compartment. I had to order this from England because you can't get it in the US. I told them, because it's so long, an odd shape, cut it in half and ship it with that rear valance piece to save on shipping, which they did. Puts a joint right here, and I've tried to put in I've tried to mount this piece in along where the mark was from the rusted out piece that I tore out of here. And I will use plug welds to weld this in, and those plug welds, hopefully when I'm done, will end up looking like the original spot welds, because I don't have a big spot welder that can come in here and nail that down. Getting around over onto this side, you know, again, the joint's right here. I can take that joint and work it around a little bit, and if I want, I'll weld that joint up. It's so minuscule, just seam sealer on it's probably good enough, but I do need to put this down just a little bit to match up with, in the rear, to match up with this piece. Bring it on across and down this side, and you'll notice on both sides that these pieces come inside of the flanges on the A-pillars. So I'm not going to anchor the ends here down. I'll do all the way across on each side, but I won't anchor each end down until I've gotten everything set the way I want as far as the A-pillars go. As you can see, this A-pillar leaves a lot to be desired. That's fine, because I'm still working on getting these doors aligned properly. Now let's talk about the doors, because as I noted during while I was talking with the people who owned Sprites at the car show, one of the things that seemed odd was these doors seem to have a hell of a wide gap at the bottom. So I've tried to get these things to line up to where they match up pretty good. The other side fits a lot better. This one still needs to rotate down a little bit. When it rotates down, this is going to come forward a little bit, which means I've still got some tweaking to do. I may actually have to do a little bit of grinding back here. Maybe a little bit of grinding along here to get this all to where these gaps here are correct. But I'm still going to have a tremendous gap down here. I measured one of these doors at the car show, right about down through here. That door measured 20 inches. This door measures roughly 19.5 inches. So the question in my mind became, well, what the hell's going on? You know, did somebody screw up my doors? Well, when these doors are built, these lower corners here and over here on the other side are brazed. Well, these doors were brazed. I took extra care to make sure that I didn't change the length of the bottom doors, or the length of the bottom of the doors. Keep them original. So I did have to work on the flat part up here and do some patching and repairing in those, but that did not affect the length of the outside of the door. Let me take you around and show the other door, because it's just as confusing. So this side, again, pretty damn big gap. Gap back here looks pretty good. Gap over here is not too bad. This right in here, this up here, I have no idea why this went that way. It looks like this opened up and twisted that way, but all of this up front here is pretty much solid exactly where it was when the car was built. So I might have a video someplace showing, maybe it shows that there was originally a big gap here. I don't know. I know there was a shitload of lead in here, This looks like it should go up about 1/4 of an inch, but moving that up 1/4 of an inch isn't going to close this gap up. It's just going to change where this door point is. So that's not going to solve anything. I think I'm just going to have to maybe put some, weld a piece of wire on there and put a wire edge on it, and maybe put a wire edge on here, and that'll be it. This gap looks good. It's about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch all the way up and down. The back here, about 1/8 of an inch up here, 3/32 down here, so I don't think I'm going to mess with that any. Then that still leaves this humongous gap all the way across the bottom, which I was going to worry about. But one of my viewers in Ireland, Ron, sent me some pictures that he had found in various magazines. And lo and behold, there is a picture of a white Sprite with this humongous gap down here. So I have to believe that at some point during production, they changed from having that real wide gap to a skinnier gap. Now I know that there was a big change in some of the body panels around vehicle 4300, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but there were things that changed around there. This is number 5977, which means it should have been the 5,476th, because they started at 501, 5,476th bug eye off the assembly line. This came off the assembly line in October of 1958, October 16th to be exact. So that's, when I saw that picture, I went through them and I was like, oh no, he sent me like 5 or 6 pictures, like, oh geez, every one of them, and then he got to this one and it was like, oh, wait a damn minute, that one's got that big humongous gap there. I guess there's a precedent for maybe just leaving it. So maybe I'm not going to bother worrying about that gap, because this isn't going to be a concourse quality vehicle. If I had $1 million, I couldn't make this thing a concourse quality vehicle. So that's about it. I'm still working on the trunk deck. Ron was kind enough to also send me dimensions on all that and some pictures. I'm going to include those pictures and dimensions in probably the next video, which will be about how I plan on fixing the trunk deck, boot deck, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's going to wrap this up for this week. Just gotten involved in an awful lot of stuff the past couple of weeks, between doctor's appointments and stuff for the show, and life. It's just life happens. So that's it for this week. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Join over on Patreon for $4 a month if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to help donate to support this channel, there's a link down below where you can go out to PayPal and make a donation, and do it a one-time donation or make a recurring donation. That would also be of great help to the channel. I showed you the coffee cups. I haven't seen anything back on anybody who wants any yet, but that video just went out Monday, so it may be a while before I get some answers back on it. But yeah, that's about it. You folks have a blessed life, and we will see you next week. Bug Eye Bob, over and out.